This is the lion eating the rest of the pig's head. The jungler threw it into the fire. Soon the smell of barbecued meat began to fill the camp. Waited for 60 minutes. The pig skin has been burned into thick black charcoal, but the meat inside is still delicious and juicy. In one bite, the delicious taste goes straight to Dionlingai. There's also a faint carbon scent in it. If only I could share a little of this with the virtuous son next door. I won't eat beans pitifully anymore. After a simple energy supplement began today's life catastrophe. Lock your eyes on a type called Shato, lily plants. His pedicels are very dry. Break it lightly. Today, Desi is going to try the firepower lifestyle. They hold the big pedicels in place with stones. The little pedicels are rubbing wildly on it. Got Mars in less than half an hour. Then put it in the licorice and blow in the wind. Instantly ignited a raging fire before it gets dark. And picking a few cactus fruits non-stop. This will not only shock but also replenish some water. Soon it got dark. Desi gathers hay by the dim light. Then throw yourself by the fire and rest for a beautiful night. The other side. After eating the quilt and roasting the pig's head, he has been looking for water. After finding a dry riverbed below, hurry up and rush down to investigate. Although the soil has been cracked by the sun, but based on past experience, soil has a stronger water-locking power than sand. Find a cool spot and start digging down. After a while the soil became moist. The next step is to find a way to get the moisture inside. I saw him take off the age that had not been washed for 2 months. After the old socks are packed with wet soil, they start squeezing the water. They suck the water out. Homemade hand-dyed stockings milk tea. This sour taste is so right. After replenishing water, the quilt will be angry for 3 kilometers. And you can see that it's full of sand. According to the current situation, even if it gets dark, it may not be out of this sand. Fortunately, he found a pile of remains of a glider. On closer inspection, I found these things to be very useful. The quilt is gearing up and picking inside. Such smooth graphics require a good phone. Then he tried again to see if the parachute was damaged. The wind is strong right now. If you sit on your beloved 3 trampolines, Neb needs to fly. Move back excitedly. Sitting tight, the adventure began. Along the way, the quilt not only has to control the direction, got to stabilize the body. As the car goes faster and faster, he was full of praise for his skills. The only regret is that it is not equipped with a braking system. One was accidentally dumped. It took 5 somersaults in a row to stop. Although the 3 trampolines fell apart, but it also saves a lot of time on the road. Desi is still slowly looking for a water source. Through careful observation, he thinks there are 3 ravines ahead. There may be water sources. To test my guess, immediately take small steps. The first ravine has nothing. The second ravine is the most promising. The trees inside are growing well. After some searching, too bad there is still no water. Busy for a long time. Desi's bald head is going to be bald. Now there is only one last gully coal gap left. After 2 disappointments, he had no expectations. How did you expect to go to the 3rd place? I actually saw a swarm of bees circling the ravine. Curious to find out. It was a small puddle. I took a look at the green poverty alleviation above. After 0.1 seconds of inner struggle, finally decided to take the plunge and try it. After drinking, wait for 2 minutes. No dizziness, no nausea. The drinking water problem will be solved perfectly in the next few days. Long-term sun exposure makes the skin tingle. We have to figure out a way to protect against the sun. Collected some high mineral stones. Dip some saliva from 82. Crazy rubbing on the stone. The resulting viscous powder can block ultraviolet rays. Apply it evenly to the forehead box, so you can concentrate on finding protein. The most indispensable thing here is the cactus. However, the fruit grows at the top and is difficult to pick. For today's lunch, Desi tied a ditch at the front of the branch. Whirring is not long enough. And then there's another section. Just pull the fruit lightly and it will fall smoothly. First taste a gift of nature. Sweet and sour. The next half hour, he plucked all the fruits from the cactus. If you can't finish it, dig out all the fruit. Divide into small balls and put them on the stones to dry. You can get dried cactus fruit tomorrow. Desi can't worry about eating and drinking now. The quilt trekked for a day to find the water source. I jumped in excitedly and took a cold bath, although it is a pot of stinky, stagnant water. But as long as you filter it well, it won't be too much of a problem. Take out the metal tube you picked up before. Stuff crushed licorice and charcoal into the ends. Cover the nozzle with a sleeve when drinking water. In this way, you can drink clean and hygienic water. After filling, pack a pot and keep it as a reserve. Didn't go long. The road ahead is blocked by a mountain range. This instantly aroused the quilt's desire to challenge. I want to climb over with just an iron pipe. How to climb halfway up the mountain. I was almost plotted. The mountains are exposed to the sun all day. The rocks attached to it fall off very easily. It's impossible to climb up. The wit was turned around by the brain. Take the umbrella rope out of the bag. Wrapped around the rock crevices. Glanced at the bottom of the cliff. He grabbed the umbrella rope and swung it in a big way. Good guy. This wave of operation directly stunned Desi next door. Relying on amazing arm strength, climbed to the top of the mountain without danger. The quilt pushes its limits on the mountains. Doka lived a life of retirement. Before it gets dark, he built a shelter out of tree trunks. Holiday. Cover it with a layer of gauze. As a warm little home with a leaking roof. You're done. I'm tired of eating cactus fruits for a few days in a row. Looking at the walking proteins nearby, Harozi immediately decided to set traps to improve his gang. The food is at the entrance to the water source. Set a lasso trap. Then he moved to other places, using cactus fruit as bait. Several implementation traps were arranged. Be patient for one night. When checking the next day, but found that the traps were all intact. Heartbroken Desi can only find a shady place. Take a break. Accidental hit. Entered a cave with murals. This must have been left by the local natives thousands of years ago. It symbolizes the yearning for prey. Inspired by this, Desi uses Harozi to grind to pigments. Paint the desired prey on the slate. I hope to catch a rabbit tomorrow. And the other side, Basie is busy with her night shelter. Due to the large temperature difference between day and night and the threat of wild animals, he's open-minded. I packed some hay in the parachute. Then he went back to the top of the mountain and tied it to a rock. Made a hammock quilt off the ground. Survival in the wilderness. Every day on the verge of death. Desi is thinking about how to eat better, although the trap is triggered. But nothing is exposed outside. His heart is already half cold. Take a look at this material first. Inside lay a sleeping pomelo. This made Tokuko very happy. Quickly send the other party to get a box lunch and take it back to the camp for processing. Then put it on the fire and roast. Finally got a decent protein meal. Not without side dishes. Collected a lot of dried beans. Put it in the stone groove and beat it repeatedly. Pick out the bean husks. Add some water into it and rub it repeatedly. Got a lump of dough. It contains the backbone of the cactus. Finally, put it in the charcoal fire and bake it at high temperature. 2 hours later, a fragrant wilderness feast is born. Have a bite. Crispy. It tastes as good as beef. The roasted cactus pie is also very beautiful. The quality of life suddenly improved. After a delicious meal. It's raining. I took a cold shower comfortably. satisfied to enter the cave to hide from the rain. Listening to the patter of rain. Private feelings are getting stronger. Even the largest behemoth in Africa. Beating a jungler can only become a charcoal-grilled spicy strip. The meat is sweet and fluffy. The protein content directly exceeds the standard. The old cow had to cry when he saw it. After lunch, Mame set out to find water. However, the starving in the Tonja Desert also found a black cricket for lunch. Crispy chicken flavor. Chew a few more times and the juice will burst. But this little snack is simply not enough to plug between your teeth. He found a plant called antelope grass. It can be woven into ropes to arrange bird traps. It didn't take long to collect a lot. As the sun gets brighter, his skull was hazy from the sun. Without saying a word, jump into the water first, after the target fish is landed. And it turns out there's a lot of catfish in these waters. This made Tokuko very happy. It seems that today we can not only eat game, you can also taste aquatic products, in order to eat a protein meal early. Handmaid to hurry up and start work. I'm going to make the rope first. Beat the antelope grass repeatedly. Then manually tear into even small strips. And you just leave it out in the sun for 2 hours. It makes a very tough rope. While waiting, he started plotting his own fishing taboo. There's a dive area in these waters. Plan to set up an opening V in the diving area. Glyph trap. When the fish enter it, there will be a bumper harvest. After planning, Desi found a large amount of driftwood and neatly stacked it in the middle. Leave a narrow gap for the fish. This wall took 3 hours to build, so it has to be made before dark. Girl trap. Race against time. The rope head was woven in less than half an hour. Immediately after, found some seeds nearby that birds like to eat. It acts with the help of branches as a spring mechanism. Quickly arrange several traps. Finally, put the seeds in, while Desi waits for the protein to take the bait. The quilt leaked again. But this time it seems to be bad luck. Just a rotten antelope lunchbox. But junglers never go empty. The little beetles crawling on it are also considered proteins. Pick it up and crunch it. But in the absence of water, keep eating like this. It only exacerbates dehydration. And this plant is called a butterfly. It's a natural appetite suppressant. Its flesh is incomparably bitter. Just a few sips directly revealed the mask of pain. The current delay is to find water sources. I walked forward about 5 kilometers, found a clear stream of water. Just when Basie was happy about it, the thick salt and alkali next to it gave him a bad premonition, but still don't give up and taste it tentatively. The result was so salty that the tongue went numb. Happy for nothing. Walk to the sun. A cactus was found halfway up the mountain. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that this was actually a large well. He looks harmless. The juice inside actually contains deadly toxins. If you accidentally touch your eyes, even the slightest bit of blindness. So we come across this plant in the wild. Be sure to stay away. Just when the quilt was thirsty. Gold coin bush found under boulder. Its leaves are as easy to distinguish as coins. And the branches and leaves are non-toxic and can quench thirst. The quilt breaks through the iron shoes and searches for water. Dizzy directly sits on the beautiful waterfront. Enjoy the good life. Tamsui drinking scale. Wake up in the morning. Not only did the bird trap harvest a stupid bird, he also caught two little luo effi in the fish trap. Straight to the peak of life. Clean it up and throw it all into the fire and roast it. As the sky darkens, a sumptuous dinner freshly baked. Trophies first. The meat is tender and delicious. Even the bones are crispy. Eat and drink enough and then sleep beautifully. Immortals are just like that. Poor Basie is still struggling to find water. Fortunately, the soil here is very moist. I dug 50 centimeters down with my bare hands. There's some groundwater coming out of it. Find some weeds and put them in to filter out the sediment. And using that hollow straw as a straw. Although it has been simply filtered. But there are still a lot of impurities in the water. Thinking about it in 3, he decided to boil it and drink it, waiting gap, and collected some rabbit droppings nearby. Throw it in a water glass and stir like crazy. According to the locals, this thing can help the kidneys detoxify. The principle is similar to cat shit coffee. After 10 minutes, get up and take a sip. It can only be said that good medicine is bitter and beneficial to the disease. It tastes really bad. The starving on the other side is out of luck. Wake up. I saw 2 oily pigs passing by the door. As the saying goes, a happy life depends on your own efforts. He quickly followed. I didn't expect to be dumped by the second senior brother just halfway through. Fortunately, God still favors Desi. Let him find an antelope lunchbox. I guess the second senior brother is hanging around nearby. Then he must come to eat this box lunch often. We looked around. We found the iron piles as the dividing line. There's a loop of wire wrapped around it. So remember, they plan to use the wires to set traps. Arrest the second senior brother, using wood and shrubs. Make a circle of the antelope lunchbox. Leave a gap and set a trap. Once the second senior brother wants to go in and eat, it is inevitable to escape. It's been a long time coming. Desi hurried back to the water's edge. Caught a little luo fvi from a fishing trap. For lunch. At the same time, Basie meets a group of local natives. I heard they were going to catch porcupines. The quilt's eyes lit up instantly. Immediately decided to eat with the past. But this meal is not free. I took the initiative to apply for a job digging a hole. When I dug down to 2 meters, the cave was exposed. Be boldly bent down to find out. Soon there was a low roar from inside. At this time, the native brother next to him urged him to reach in and turn. Hearing this, the quilt was stunned. After repeatedly confirming that this guy is not joking, now I'm ready to bite the bullet and give it a try. But it's too dangerous to think of one person. Immediately invite my brother to join us. The little brother is poking with a stick in the front. Intend to provoke each other. The quilt is just in time to show up. The good guy directly scared the 2 of them to jump up and down. Through this observation, the quilt had a flash of inspiration. Immediately decided to go into battle alone after the porcupine rushes out angrily. Immediately raise your foot and precisely press it down. Then I used a wooden stick to send him a box lunch. A set of flowing operations. Instantly won the applause of the local natives. Desi on the other side can't stand it either. To check for traps. Unexpectedly, the traps were all destroyed by the second senior brother. Not a single hair was left. But that's not the worst part. Continuous droughts cause water levels to keep falling. Few fish can swim in. He didn't want to waste time adjusting fishing traps. Going to the mountains in search of protein. After walking for 2 hours, just sat down to take a break. The stone in front of me actually moved. Strong enough to reach out and pick it up. It turned out to be a century-old turtle. In order to ensure the tenderness of the meat, hurry back to camp and throw it into the coals. Then seal the fire with mud. Simply simmer for 3 hours. The fragrant roasted turtle is freshly baked. Just pried open the case with wood. The aroma of the meat wrapped inside burst out instantly. Just put it in your mouth and enjoy. The delicious taste goes straight to the sky. Every bite greatly satisfies the taste buds. 3. 5 divided by 2 will give you a clean slate. In the wilderness for decades. What is it? Make the jungler look like this? At first, the quilt just wanted to get some honey to taste. Just as the fruits of victory were withdrawn, the little bee seems to have discovered his bad intentions. It came hard between the eyebrows. At first I thought it was okay. You can get a big piece of honey in exchange for a prick. It's worth it. But Lin Quilt never thought of it. After an hour, the whole face was swollen into a pig's head. All eyes and nose allergies. Made him half blind. Once upon a time, crocodiles and poisonous snakes are their own losers. Today it was planted in the hands of a little bee. When the quilt is angry. Desi in the Pinchu Desert is still worried about the water source. There's no navigation or compass in the wild. The sun is the best indicator. He walked west for 2 hours. Finally, I heard the subtle sound of running water. Excited to run forward. No matter what, squat down and drink. I didn't expect to just mix a water treasure. I looked up and saw a big dark cloud floating over. There is a good chance of heavy rain ahead. The current priority is looking for a shelter for the night. The camera turns. The cave not far away was locked by Desi at a glance. The size is just right after entering. You have a big career. And the quilt on the other side. The eyes are so swollen that they can't open. As a result, the house leak happened to rain overnight. Encountered a small spicy strip blocking the way. My heart is on fire. Grab a wooden stick and spread all your anger on the spicy strips. If it were changed before, maybe even release him as a creature. But today is different. Baked directly on fire. Waited for half an hour. The smell of barbecue began to fill the air. Tear off a piece and put it in your mouth. The meat is delicious and fluffy, and the smell of bone and muscle. Its protein is many times that of beef. While the foodie is enjoying lunch, Bide is struggling to find food. This place where birds don't shit. It's really hard to find protein. So he decided to start the fire. On the way to find fire materials, found a broken tin. Pick it up, it might be useful later. Collect logs. Plan to make a fire tool. Pick up some more licorice and dead branches. The fire materials are gathered. Return to camp to remove the carry. Tie the ends of the wood to make a firework. Then combine the worker and the drill. Then use sharp stones to process wooden points. Grind a gap on the side. It's convenient to take off the tinder later. Now everything is ready. The manual virtue immediately entered the practical operation link. Due to the high altitude, the air is thin. It took 4 hours of firework. Finally got a little hot. Risk carefully transferring it to a haystack. Gently blow on the fire. It ignited. With the blessing of the fire, he spent a warm night. But today is the 3rd day in the desert. Hungry for 9 days, who can stand this? Virtue with white lips. Decided to find a way to save the tinder first, and then you move on and you look for proteins. He found a plant of determination with a high density. You crush it, you put it on a fire, you burn it until it's charcoal. Just keep it in a tin can. The kindling for the next few days is guaranteed. Gone for a long time, suddenly found that there seemed to be a fire on the other side of the river. So he put away the soup from the outer warehouse and went to the opposite side. I didn't expect the protein feast I just saw. It's actually an American lump that's been kicking for half a month. That sour taste goes straight to the sky. The starving Dudu, who had been fighting for many years, frowned. Although the meat is rotten, but the infrastructure inside is still intact. He fought back the stench and took down a strip of America, properly extract the infrastructure inside and put it in the water to soften. Half an hour later, 49 blows with a wooden stick, divided into thin fibers. These fibers are woven together. It becomes fishing line, and then the wire as the hook. You get a set of hand fishing tools. The fishing line made of fiber is not long enough. Also tied a cloth strip on the back end. This allows the hook to sink into the water. As for the bait, it's the carrion on the American tug. To increase the chance of capture, Deco started setting up puddle traps nearby again. The fish ring has a habit. They always like to swim into still waters. So Desi grasped this point. Circle a small fish pond with a stone. Attract fish to play. On the other side, the quilt that just finished eating spicy strips. There are endless cattle wells all over, running wild in the desert. Pretty soon, I found a large piece of rotten wood in my eyes. Usually, in this wood, they all have protein. Maybe it's bad luck today. Pull for a long time and get nothing. We have no choice but to move on. Soon found an abandoned car. Lift the hood and take the wires inside for backup. Ragged seats are also good insulation materials. All packed and taken away. After placing the supplies in the makeshift camp, I started looking for today's dinner. Several rows of oily footprints were found during the wilderness. So remember, going to use the willows and the collected wires. Lasso trap. Find a stinky way to go. Stuck the willow branch into the stone crack and fix it. We then turn the wire into a lasso loop. The wall is attached to the willow branch. The lasso loop is tiled on the trigger. If something accidentally steps on it, it gets caught in the air. Set a trap. The next step is to start making tonight's shelter. He leaned the broken branch against the stone. As a gap in the side of the roof. Fill with shrubs. Spread the seat cushions of the car in. Soon a simple single slope house was made. Go check the traps when you're done. All the way. The quilt smelled a stench from above. The little guy really got hit. Avoid rabies. It has to be fully baked to eat. After 2 hours of high-temperature baking, the smell of burnt incense made his mouth water. Cut a small piece and taste it. It tastes strange. It's like someone took your steak, smear it all over like stinky duck eggs, but considering the protein rich in it. Or bite the bullet and eat it all. Complete protein supplementation, relying on the fire to fall asleep beautifully. On the other hand, poor Desi. A fishing tool that takes time and effort to create. In the end I got nothing. Fortunately, in the puddle trap, saw a lively fish. Otherwise, I'm really afraid that I won't be able to make it through the 4th day. The old boy spent 9 bulls and 2 tigers. The power to capture this only protein. Quickly clean the internal organs. Return to camp and put it directly on the fire for charcoal roasting. Although there is only a palm-sized fish for dinner. But it still made him happy. The grilled fish is soft and juicy. The delicious taste is called a tunnel. Bite after bite can't stop at all. Sitting on the large open-air pool, there is no need to worrying about water at all, only protein is missing. Add the quilt spicy strips honey smelly law 3-piece set. Protein directly exceeds the standard in 1 day. Helplessly, I never stopped on the way to find a water source. Along the way, he found a shrub. The plant has a hollow center. Can be used as a straw. Broke to straps and walked a few kilometers forward. Come to a cliff with a back. The depression in the ground is likely to contain water. I dug about 30 centimeters with my bare hands. The sand pit oozes the water of the heart. To prevent drinking directly, string suction machine preparation, stuff the charcoal into the straw. Let it absorb the dirty things in the water. And then we put a little bit of grass filter gravel on the end. And then just a little piece. A corner is wrapped around the head of the straw. A straw with a filtering effect is done. Get down and start enjoying your hard-won water. Sweet and refreshing taste. Squat, 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 and dry a water bucket directly. If you want to live a vacation on a desert island, a 1.5 kilogram lobster is essential. Return to camp, raise the fire and put the lobster on it to roast. It is said that shrimp yellow is a rare delicacy. After baking, I can't wait to taste it. The entrance is slippery and soft. There is also a magical smell. The quilt was silent for 2 seconds. Look at it without hesitation. On a fat lobster tail. Have a bite. Q-bomb fresh sweet, fragrant smell, filled with every cell in the body. It's not what beef can match at all. While enjoying a seafood feast in Basie, Lurd's life was tight. Helplessly scraped the raw wood. I almost knocked out my old front teeth. He didn't give up, he just broke the papaya apart. I thought it would fill my stomach. Results: the mucus exuded from the raw melon meat. So bitter that his tongue went numb, scared to throw it away. Unlucky Desi is hungry 3 times a day. You can only have some coconut milk to replenish moisture, but he has to before he drinks the rest of the coconut milk. Find other sources of fresh water. After eating the big lobster here, decided to head to a more abundant island opposite. To fend off wild shark attacks while crossing the sea. He picked one up specially, extra long driftwood as a weapon. But I never expected, even with the strength of the hand, the shark dares to provoke. It starts with a quick skim from the feet of the quilt. Then call the companion 2 to 1. Facing this dangerous situation, the quilt can only stay where it is calmly. Prepare for the worst. I didn't expect that. The shark turned around and swam away after 2 turns. That got him pretty excited. Throw away the driftwood in your hand immediately. Adrenaline rush all the way. The good news is that the adventure was well worth it. The island is very rich in materials. Coconut palms everywhere. With them, the water problem can be alleviated. Use your own climbing skills to climb trees easily. Pick the largest one. Skillfully make a hole in the bottom. The white and tender coconut meat spit out cannot be wasted. Then show off in a big mouth. 1 coconut is equivalent to a lifetime of electrolyzed water. It's not just coconuts that quench thirst here. Banana trees can also harvest fresh water. You just take one end of the bamboo and stick it in the trunk. Dig another hole and put the banana leaves on it. Be patient for a few hours. The moisture in the trunk will flow down the supervisor. Poor Desi on the other side. I'm struggling with water. On the way to search, I found a broken one. I don't know what the use of fishing nets is, but I still carried it back to the camp for emergencies. Then he came along a narrow bay. To the innermost. Immediately, the Desi stared at his mouth. It turns out that there is a beautiful crab lake hidden away. Not only that, there are a lot of sea urchins gathered here. Let Denko, who hasn't eaten for 2 days, glow in his eyes. Immediately grab the biggest early adopter. After breaking the spike outside with a stone, you can open it and enjoy. High-quality sea urchins melt in your mouth. To replace the protein lost these days, he decided to eat a few more before going back. There is plenty of water on the other side of the quilt. Immediately decided to settle down on the island to avoid being bitten by reptiles. He's going to make a hammock that's off the ground. The most resilient bamboo is used for the bed frame. Divide the middle into 6 small pieces. Then tie ropes at both ends end to end and tie them to the tree. Soon a simple hammock was completed. Beware of the raging sea breeze affecting your rest. Another pile of brown donkey liquid. Tie it with vines into a windshield. The remaining leaves cannot be wasted. Ripped in half and spread on the hammock. Just took care of the housing issue. Then you can go out and look for it with confidence. Protein found a sea fish on the beach. Although the remnant sea cannot be eaten, but fish bones can be made into fish hooks. Then he turned around and went to the dive area, caught a sardine as bait. Satisfied, he threw the hook into the sea. Fishing mode is turned on. The beautiful scenery with the sea breeze blowing. The tense nerves also slowly relaxed. Suddenly there was movement from the fish hook. Quilt quickly pull up the fishing line, pick it up and observe carefully. It's a 2-catty fingerprint fish. Back to camp. Put it on the fire for 20 minutes. You can enjoy sweet and fluffy grilled fish. After eating and drinking, she lay down in the hammock and rested beautifully. And although Desi ate sea urchins, but water remains a top priority. And there's a mangrove forest across from Crab Lake. Maybe there will be fresh water there. He decided to build a floating boat and go to the opposite side. Since there are no cutting tools, you can only put the bamboo you find in the fire and burn it. It was quickly divided into 3 sections. As for the rope that holds the bamboo in place, just use rattan instead. After firmly fixing the frame, cut off a fishing net I had picked up before. Overlay on top to increase benefits. Tie up some foam and plastic bottles. Soon the compact floating boat was built successfully. Without saying a word, Deco started swimming to the other side, but when he went to great lengths to log in, but found that the soil here is very dry. The bald head refused to give up and climbed up the mountain to find water. Unexpectedly, reality continues to give him a heavy blow, but it's all coming. I plan to move to the cliff next to me to have a look. Maybe there's some rain in the cracks. Fortunately, hard work pays off. As soon as I came up, I found a small dented water stone. Tears of joy are about to fall. Fill up all the plastic bottles you bring. Due to the long-term soaking of rotten leaves in the water, causes it to contain a lot of tannic acid. After returning to the camp, I have to deal with it before I can drink it. Got an empty bottle. Cut off the bottom. Put a piece of gauze over the mouth of the bottle, and you pour in a layer of sand and a pile of wooden blankets. Such a simple filter is made. Just pour the water in. Not only can it play a role in purify water quality, it also filters out debris. Finally, bring the filtered water to a boil over high heat. You have drinkable fresh water. The moment you drink sweet boiled water, finally revealed a comfortable smile. A day's hard work was finally not in vain, but as we all know, survival is just the first step to virtue. To be on vacation in the wilderness, the next morning we'll leave. Plastic bottles are turned into fishing traps. Put it in a dozen different places. But I didn't expect luck to come and I couldn't stop it. On the way back, I actually met a fat wuchizhensha. Hurry back to the shore. A double spiny hook was tailor-made for it. And found a piece. Fat conch meat as bait. These traps are not enough. The industrious Tokuko sewed up the broken fishing net again. Put it at the entrance to the bay to catch the fish coming in and out. Now everything is ready except for the fish to take the bait. The quilt slept beautifully. Just remembered in the morning, the fresh water collection device installed yesterday. Water flowing out of tree trunks. It has a strong raw glue smell. Although it doesn't taste good, it can supplement a lot of vitamins. Rehydrate. I was going to grab some small specialties by the sea. Unexpectedly, I saw my nemesis, a shark. This made him give up the idea of catching small fish in an instant, ready to bring up the nemesis to taste. Approach slowly. Seeing that the other party showed no signs of fleeing, they attacked quickly. Never thought. This wild shark is also a master who has never seen the world. Immediately smeared the soles of his feet with oil and slipped away, watching each other swim farther and farther. The quilt was very disappointed. When Deco checked the fishing traps here, caught a fat loach. This little protein is simply not enough to plug between your teeth. It is said that the locals make a living by collecting birds' nests, so he climbed into a cave and tried his luck. It just entered the hole. An excellent old bird's nest was discovered by him. Satisfied to bring back to the camp to stew soup, to enhance the flavor of the loach bird's nest soup. Added a little rovonzi to it. Simply wait for an hour. The fish soup is fragrant. Taste the old bird's nest and it's still very resilient. But Tokuko didn't have the patience to continue cooking. Dry the loach bird's nest soup in 3 strokes and 5 divided by 2. Had the most nutritious meal in days. Fighting for so many years, this is the first time I have found a whole camel. This is not just for junglers. Provides high quality protein. The soft fur also withstands the severe cold at night. Deal with it before the sun sets. It is said that camel fat is a rare delicacy. And with the spirit of giving it a try, you take a little piece and you taste it. The stream chews twice. I didn't expect to break the quilt directly. This stuff tastes worse than preserved eggs. It seems that the delicacy in the desert, not something that ordinary people can enjoy. Now my mouth is full of greasy, earthy smell. I had to cut it open to leave the taste. Take out the stored water from it to relieve it. After processing the internal organs, the rest is fully available. Camel fur can keep out the cold. Another sandstorm. Wrap yourself up for safety. As it gets dark, the quilt drew a circle around the camel with the soup. It's marking territory. Prevent the visit of jackals, tigers and leopards. Although it seems simple, in fact, there is number 1.5 kilograms mass that is difficult to trip. I'm starving after work. Live now and prepare barbecue. I specially chose a piece of hind leg meat, cut off a small piece of the best quality and put it on the slate, in order to optimize the taste of the meat. The fire temperature must be carefully controlled. 15 minutes later, a delicious roast comes out fresh. It tastes not only firm and chewy. Its cholesterol is still low. Desi next door experienced 3 days of hunger and 9 meals. Finally got up and went out in search of food. Soon he saw several Jerry understands. Through some research, it turns out that these caves are interconnected. So I decided to use smoke. Solve the protein inside. Block the holes one by one. Then the remaining hole. Is that so? The smoke will follow the tunnels to the various caves. Smoke them to death. Be patient for an hour. Alad was excited to dig a hole in the ground. Imagination is beautiful. Reality is cruel. I dug all over the place. I don't even see protein has. Heartbroken Deco can't accept this fact. Sitting on a stone and feeling sad for a long time. This is how I sorted out my emotions and continued to look for. On the way to eat shit, he saw a few camel thumbs. I thought that the passage of time would eat the bone marrow. As a result, after knocking it open, I found that there was nothing inside. The tableaus made Deco almost shed tears. On the other side, the quilt was abandoned and the camel travelled light, all the way east and west. He wants to taste the delicious food in the desert. This is a jasper bead. Between scorpions and spiders. It can grow up to 15 centimeters. Small size contains a lot of energy. Keep chasing the shadow of the quilt and output frantically. But today he met a foodie and was considered unlucky. Hold it down with a small wooden stick. It's all protein. Put it in your mouth and taste it. Strange smells fill every cell of the body. Directly exposed the pain mask. In order to relieve the psychological damage caused by Jasper Beats, found another date palm nearby. This is the only one he sees today that contains moisture thing. Immediately start climbing the 9-meter high tree trunk. I didn't find out until I reached the top. Scratches all over the arm. Quilt Gubu's others. Hurry up and pick a date palm and try it. It tasted very bitter. It made him frown. But even so, try to eat as much as possible, because it is rich in vitamin C and minerals. And the heartbroken Deco was busy for a long time. Finally found food. This is a plant called ginger syrup. The roots are edible. It tastes like licorice. Can help the body to replenish calorie. It took Desi about 20 to relieve his hunger. But luck can't stop it. I saw a small iron cup on the way. Immediately closed the edge for backup. After wiping it clean, I found it nearby. A large field of wild berries. The problem of eating in the next few days is solved. Happy to shake off the belly and open the stove. Sweet and sour. Every bite is rich in carbohydrates. After returning to camp, quickly become a cup of water to make tea. Put the roots of the syrup grass in it, stems and delicious little berries. Maimai drank a cup of afternoon tea. But after eating berries for 2 days in a row, Desi really can't take it. He turned the stones around. They're looking for proteins underneath. Not long, a few lizards were caught before they could escape. And I went back to camp and I made these little skewers, simply baked for half an hour for a bite. Tender and smooth. I don't know how many times more protein than beef. But Baisi's side, I've been hungry all day since eating jujube leaves. I finally found a few that are very similar. Watermelon stuff. When I got closer, it turned out to be a desert gourd. After cutting, there are white melon sacs inside. If eaten by mistake, it will not only cause serious illness, it also quickly dehydrates the body. But this thing works wonders for external use. It is a good helper for treating hemorrhoids. If you don't need the quilt, you can throw it away and hit the road. A gum Arabic tree was found 2 hours later. Although the gum attached to the trunk cannot be eaten. But you can put it in your mouth and trick your brain. Its function is to stimulate the oral cavity, secretes more saliva. Achieve the purpose of quenching thirst. Desi has been eating lizard skewers since. Just remember, go out jungling every day to try my luck. I didn't expect him to earn it this time. I actually found a car in the crevice of the stone. Cold little hedgehog. It made him happy. Immediately picked up 10 yuan and gave it to my wife to receive a box lunch. Since this is the first time I have encountered this thing, how to cook becomes a difficult problem. After thinking about it, I decided to get an underground oven. Dig a hole first, lay a hot iron on the bottom. Then keep burning on it. When the stone pit is burning hot, immediately throw the hedgehog away. Go in. Finally, cover it with a layer of wild vegetables to lock in the moisture. You can bury this high-temperature soil pit. Simmer for 4 hours. Desi motor furnace. The shell falls off with a light pack. The smell of fragrance goes straight to the sky. Hurry up and have a bite. The meat is tender and fluffy. It was delicious without any seasoning. Desi has already started a vacation-like life here. Baisi is still painfully crossing the desert. It's hard to meet green plants. Turns out to be another hidden killer. This is a plant called the hornmelon. It turns out that Li Bai's mucus can blind the eyes. If you accidentally eat it in your stomach, we'll receive a packed lunch on the spot the next time. Baisi frantically searched for water in the desert, until I saw a dry riverbed. Just stop. Plan to dig a hole to find water. After successfully digging into the wet soil, he took the headscarf off and used it to wrap the dirt. You can instantly absorb the moisture inside, although you can't drink a water treasure, but moisturizing the throat is still fine. After a little recovery, Daisy hurriedly continued on her way. On the other hand, Desi sighed. Every day I think about how to eat better. Happy life for a few days. He suddenly realized, where you fall, you have to get up. Today's goal is to return to the cave. Catch little Jerry. Same as the previous plan. Block the hole with a stone first. Then live in the remaining hole. Let the smoke lead to various caves. Be patient for 2 hours. Tokuko strikes again, as your fingertips touch soft objects. The nervous heart was put down. The second hole caught another little Jerry. Soon the third one was also successfully taken. Happy Desi immediately returned to the camp. The angry fire put Jerry in it all. Simmer for 3 hours. Delicious protein freshly baked. Have a bite. Crispy and crispy. His eyes lit up when he ate. Wilderness Handle is indeed not a vegetarian. He actually caught a 5 kilograms eel with his bare hands. Anti-foot uniform on the ground. The hand stone fell and smashed the nerve in the severed tail. Finally, I gave it away and got the box lunch. After returning to camp, take out the quilt, the mobile phone handed down by my grandmother. Cut out the battery inside. Just pierce the battery. Let the aluminum inside come into contact with the oxygen. You can easily get tinder. The lamp pile is fully lit. And I started working on it. Cut the fish into 2 slices and boil it in a cup. The rest is to remove the bone spur. Smoke by the fire. Simply wait 5 minutes. Fragrance comes out of the cup. Can't wait to take a bite. The meat is soft and waxy, and the taste is fresh and mellow. I don't know how many times more protein than beef. The quilt is humming an eel feast. Naruko is still battling the groundhog. Use rocks to plug the extra holes. A lasso trap was set at the final exit. After waiting for a night on an empty stomach, hurry back to the trap to check. After all, the emperor lived up to the bald man and the groundhog showed up. But I didn't expect this guy to be smarter than a monkey. Know there are traps up there? He's hiding in a hole. He immediately picked up the wooden stick next to him. Kill with 1 hit on the head. Successfully obtain the protein and immediately return to the camp for processing, since the next route is towards the desert. Decided to peel off the groundhog's coat intact. Used as a water storage bag. And the remaining 4 kilograms of protein. He's going to cut it into small pieces and make smoked jerky, easy to carry on the road. Collect branches to make bacon sauce. Then carefully threw the meat strips on it. Finally, cover it with a layer of branches and leaves of yanshin trees to protect against flies and mosquito bites. After the smoked meat job is almost done. Get a good night's sleep. The next morning, I woke up at camp. The aroma of meat overflows. Tokuko's excited heart, shaking hands, the moment you eat delicious jerky. Gave a giggle. This is better than 500 grams a catty of bacon. It's too much after packing the jerky. He took the water storage belt to the nearby area to fill with water. On the other hand, the quilt is here. Not long after I was on the road, I met something good. He missed a large cricket from ancient times. If you crunch it, you can blow on people for 3 days when you go home. The old rules can be blocked by pinching the head and tail. But just about to start, the little guy launched a counterattack. When has Basie suffered such grievances? Immediately deal with the meal. I thought the taste wouldn't be so bad. Unexpected misjudgment. The position of the ancient region is comparable to that of a stink fart bug. More than preserved eggs. After a while, continue on the way. Soon a great river appeared ahead. To relieve the lingering smell in the mouth, He's going to find something good here for a change. A puddle attracts attention. The camera turns. Good guy, a few crayfish appear in front of you. Due to the large number of parasites in the body, the quilt was not intended to be eaten raw. You get a big patch of moss. Wet it with water. Just put the crayfish in and pack it. It can ensure that it is fresh and will not deteriorate. Wait until you find the right opportunity to cook in one pot. On the other hand, Deco uses the groundhog's coat. That's 5 liters of fresh water. Then take the jerky and head for the desert. But not a few kilometers. I feel that carrying supplies on my body is too exhausting. The brain turned and stopped. Want to use willow? Make a simple little snowball. Not only can you put supplies, I can also bring some dry wood. It is convenient to make a fire in the desert at night to keep warm. And very quickly the framework was built. Bottom and side brackets and guardrails on the board. A labor-saving and beautiful shipping tool, you're done. The next step is just to move forward steadily. Just a few hours passed. Basie came to the volcanic area. Walking in this environment, the body's water consumption is rapid, so he kept looking for water. Difficult to climb to the top of the mountain. I heard the sound of running water. It turned out that there was a stream at the bottom of the mountain, and she climbed down the steep slope. As a result, every short distance you descend, there will be countless loose stones rolling down. If you accidentally slip, it's no problem to get a box lunch on the spot. Basie carefully followed the steep slope to the foot of the mountain. Wait until you come to the stream. I thought it was a hard work that paid off. You can instantly numb your mouth and tongue after a sip. And his mouth smelled of sulfur. It appears that the water has been contaminated by the volcano. I had no choice but to move forward. On the other hand, Desi also brought. All his wealth came to the desert area. Half the journey is not yet complete. He drank all his water. Desi, who was dry-mouthed, collapsed instantly. And as you walk, you look around. I found a different color of sand nearby. Hurry up and check it out. The sediment here is very humid. Trying to dig down a few inches. I never expected to dig directly into the aorta of the desert. Water immediately seeped out. Bite out a little fresh water with your hat to moisten your throat. I feel so good all over. The only bad thing is that there is a lot of sediment in the water. To pack the fresh water away. Turned around and went to the sleigh and got to sticks. Open the water storage bag rack on it. Use the hat as a filter. Clean water soon. After the quilt crosses the volcano, came to a dense jungle. Danger is everywhere. Not only is there steam everywhere, pull. Water is also under the action of underground magma far beyond the boiling point, stepping on the soft grass. If you are not careful, you may step on the air and fall into the water. The quilt walked forward in fear. Suddenly a huge hot water pool appeared in front of me. Seeing this, he had a crooked mind. Immediately take out the crayfish you caught before. Put it in a sock that hasn't been washed for days. Then tied to a stick. Heat in a boiling hot water tank. Wait 5 minutes and take it out. And you get a nice boiled lobster. Can't wait to pick one up and put it in your mouth. The meat is tender and chewy. It also has its own salty taste, no need to add salt. The quilt is enjoying the food. Tokuko is looking for a way out in the desert despite the strong wind. Until evening. Then I saw a large oasis. What amazing animal is this? Even the handle of the wilderness does not dare to crunch. Then look again. Turning to a mushroom called the iris. Yellow loose black rod. Lie down immediately after eating. Wit was glanced at. Gone without looking back. Although you can't eat mushrooms indiscriminately in the wild, but if you meet this orchid, you can take it off and hit it. And there's this dead leaf that looks like a monkey's tail. It only needs to be cooked at high temperature to be a rare delicacy. Basie quickly took it off, packed it and took it away. On the other hand, Alad is struggling to find water. After climbing to mountains, let him discover a strange fruit. In order not to die of thirst, he decided to take a chance and take a bite. Crispy entrance, plenty of moisture, a little cucumber flavor. After confirming that the fruit is non-toxic, I have to open my belly and hum. Charged with some energy, hurry up and keep going. 2 hours later to a low-lying terrain. Under normal circumstances, after the rainy season, plants here tend to store a little water, so he frantically output to the nearby water vines. By the way, yell twice to cheer yourself up. As a result, the middle is dry and there is no moisture at all. In desperation, I had no choice but to move forward. Lack of hydration. Broken inside. I even planned to go home. I didn't expect God to bless me. He actually found a small muddy puddle. Drinking dirty water is easy to play on the spot, so they dug a hole nearby. Filtered through sand. The risk factor will be greatly reduced. While waiting for the muddy water to sit, Desi hurried to collect water containers nearby. Unexpectedly, several plastic bottles were picked up by him. Immediately returned to the puddle to fill the water. The muddy water looks like milk tea. Although drinking stuffed teeth, but it can replenish water very well. After packing enough fresh water, Desi thought he would be comfortable these days. I didn't walk a few kilometers. I found a clear message. Wouldn't it be for nothing to drink so much mud water just now? The depressed bald man hurried into the water. Take a cold shower. I didn't expect this jump to have unexpected gains. To catch small fish in the water. Use the bottle you picked up before. Made into a fishing trap. Then catch a few more ants as bait. You can put the trap in the creek and wait. And the quilt over there. I also happen to like the bait in the water. But his method is much more advanced than Lattice. He's going to make a long bow to catch fish with. First, choose a wood with the right hardness on the ground. Remove surface decay residue. Make it smooth. We then cut grooves at each end to hold the bowstrings in place. Peter Brown leaves are natural fibers. They can be used to make bowstrings. Cut off the spikes on both sides. Tear into thin strips. And then finally we weave the strands into a rope. Just remember the grooves at both ends of the bow. You get a beautiful long bow. As for the arrows, I picked a slender piece of wood. Sharpen the head. Have the right tools. Basie immediately turned on the hunting mode with confidence. His goal is the water margin fish, although the meat of this fish is delicious. But it's also fast. As a result, the quilt was unsuccessful and the first one failed successfully. Patient aim. 3 minutes later, successfully hit the back of a water margin fish. Look at this sharp mouth. If you gather a few hundred, can easily shred prey. Have a successful experience. Quickly captures enough protein. Let's start cooking. Collect some wood in the jungle. Build a simple stove. Put the dead leaves picked before into a water cup and cook them. Water margin fish is wrapped in leaves and baked. Wait for half an hour. The aroma of cooked fish. Arrange it on banana leaves with bracken. Let's take a bite of the dead leaves first. It's sticky and chewy. Then he looked at the water margin fish. Although he looked very fierce before his death, but the roasted meat is exceptionally delicious. Bracken with fish. Meat and vegetables with balanced nutrition. I don't know how many times more protein than beef. It's time to find a place to spend the night. Desi is busy making a fire here. Drills are the most effective tools for generating heat through friction, but even so, it also took 2.5 hours. Just rubbed against Mars. Put it in the fire. Blow lightly. Flames burst out. While searching for firewood. His eyes rolled. Got the idea of brown donkey nuts? Pick off a beautiful one and eat it. Then go check out the fishing traps. There is a harvest in the first one. It's a catfish the size of a thumb. There is also a harvest in the second one. Successfully harvested 3 small catfish. Return to the camp and throw it into the fire. After it's cooked, the meat that was already missing has shrunk in roast. Take a bite. The taste is surprisingly delicious. Even fish bones are crispy. On the other side, the quilt took a fancy to a cave. He plans to cross the river and spend the night there, but the current here is too uniform. It can only be used as a long ladder to cross the river. Cut down to bamboos to use as a frame. Use tough vines instead of ropes. Shape a split wooden stick into a horizontal brace. Prevent slipping. 3 laps left and 3 laps right, and soon the ladder will be done. Rest feet. Push the air to the opposite stone. Unexpectedly, the ladder fell apart immediately when it fell. 3 hours of hard work turned into cannonballs. The quilt wants to cry without tears. I don't want to freeze to death at night. I can only smile wryly to collect living materials, to build a fire before the rain comes. God doesn't do what you want. In a humid rainforest environment, keep him alive. I had no choice but to stuff licorice into my clothes, prevent heat loss. Spent the night in a mess. On the other hand, Desi slept comfortably and had a good night's sleep. Wake up energetic in the morning. He excitedly cut a sharp arrow. Then pull off the elastic band from the backpack. Made a fishing slingshot. And they go into the stream and they try it out. Dive to the bottom to observe the position of the fish. As a result, the first item failed perfectly. The second and third is the Air Force again. I didn't catch a small fish until the 4th strike. And they get really good at it. The second one was successfully won in less than half an hour. This protein is not enough. He got it between his teeth, ran to the bank and punched the banana tree. Finally successfully harvested a large bunch of bananas. Fish cut into pieces. Banana sliced. There is no doubt that he will cook a feast of the wilderness. Wait a moment. The perfect combination of carbohydrate and protein. Let Desi eat very satisfied. Hunting for decades. First time seeing such a big crocodile skull. A crocodile of this size. The bite force is comparable to that of a large truck. As long as you are bitten, you are designated missing arms and legs. So for safety's sake, the quilt must be made into a wooden cutting to cross the river. Collect all the nearby timber. Lay it flat on the floor to form a simple frame. Then I got willow branches instead of the rope. Bind it together tightly. And finally, you just lay the bark. Receive the title of a bell coin. Before departure, he also cautiously threw a few logs into the water. Test if there are crocodiles ambushing underwater. After confirming that it is safe, drag the wood into the water. Set sail. Just as Basie and the crocodile were battling wits. Desi lived a retirement life early. Pick up the clover and take a sip. The vinegar pulp grass next to it also tastes good. Eat straight to the vegetarian buffet until 7 minutes full. He reluctantly returned to the camp. But not a few miles. The contents of the stomach are almost digested. Starving to look into the stream. There is a taron fish basking in the sun underwater. There is no reason to miss ready-made protein. Without saying a word, go into the water to salvage. Can't imagine, these little guys are too intense. Several times, the hand quickly slipped away as soon as it touched. Busy for 3 hours. Didn't even catch a single fish hair. On fishing, this one is still a mechanism. Have to brushes. Drifting on the road. Picked up a branch covered with thorns. Take off a spike and use it as a fish hook. And then we attach the umbrella rope. Wednesday afternoon. In addition to public sets of simple fishing tools, found a spider web on the tree. Immediately run to collect the little spider as bait. Now everything is ready but the east wind. After paddling the wood into an open water, started fishing mode. But the moment the hook is thrown, suddenly realized that something big was wrong. There are actually a few crocodile bosses basking in the sun around. The quilt stares nervously at the hook with one eye. Watch with the other eye. After a few minutes, a big fish took the bait. But the crocodile doesn't seem to be giving face. He actually bit the sticky quilt in one bite. We also tried to compete with each other for food. Alligators are too strong. Play white and run away with a big fish. After Desi's plan to catch fish failed, decided to go back for the weed buffet. Unexpectedly, I saw a lost sea bone on the way. He guessed there might be an American haunt nearby. We need to hurry up and gather available materials. The shoulder blades can be used as shovels. Antlers can be used for self-defense. There are many tendons remaining on the leg bone. It only needs to be processed to weave into fishing line. All packed up and taken back to camp. I didn't get to eat the buffet. No whole fish feast. Miserable son. I had to do something to the poor little tadpole. He grabbed 30 of them in one go and put them on his shoulder blades. No seasoning added. Cook on fire and wait for an hour. The chubby tadpoles have obviously shrunk. Can't wait to try it. It has no taste except crunchy. But as we eat more and more, something was wrong. Return to the future. It's like putting an awesome lump in your mouth. Very high. But considering that the protein is 10 times that of beef. Or bite the bullet and show off. In order to stop eating this kind of food in the future, he soaked the leg bones of the scissors in water to soften. Then you remove the upper part of the tendon. After beating it 749 times. Split into filaments and weave together. This results in a perfect fishing line. Then he cut a thorn with a stone slice. As a fish hook, combined with fishing line, it is a set of fishing tools. Found a few ant egg lures nearby. Then take confident steps and go fishing. It may be that the water is too shallow and the temperature has dropped. As a result, I was busy until the evening and got nothing. Directly give us a cheerful big boy to autism. After successfully crossing crocodile waters, the shell next door discovered the secrets of the local natives in the jungle. They believe, just paddle the desired prey onto the rock. The next time you come to hunt, the prey will increase. Although Basie doesn't believe it, but he knows that this kind of age is usually encountered not far from water and protein. Sure enough, they only walked a few hundred meters each. A clear river appears in front of you. Jump down immediately to cool down the brain seeds. Then take out the kettle and fill it up. Climb ashore and continue searching for today's dinner along the way. How can I just take a few steps? Found a figure of spicy strips underwater. Junglers are ruthless and don't talk much. Jump down and grab the tail. With the ingredients, go back and prepare a big meal. The quilt is going to drill wood to make fire. The branches are sanded smooth and used as drill pipe bases. Dig out grooves to keep the tinder. And when you're ready, you can quickly twist the drill pipe. It's a test of patience. After 2 hours of hard work, the fire is rubbed out. Put it in the fire and blow it lightly. The raging flames successfully emerged. Throw the spicy strips into the charcoal roast while waiting for a protein feast. He went out again to find materials to make a bed. This is a Melaleuca pallida. The bark has antiseptic and antibacterial properties. It was the material of choice for the indigenous people to pitch their tents. I picked up some more wood on my way back. Rack the wood neatly on the rock and covered with Melaleuca bark. This results in a comfortable queen bed. After everything is done, the charcoal grilled spicy strips are also freshly baked. The crust is crispy. Just pick it up and take a bite. Dude, this spicy strip is estimated to be a few years old, chewy than cowhide candy. The quilt eats protein and falls asleep. I don't know how many times happier the warm big bed is than Desi. Poor man, he went out hungry for 9 times in 3 days. And it's getting colder here. Went out without warm clothes. I can't love you without some protein. After baking for a while to warm up the body, decided to make a fishing trap, using stones as cutting tools. Carve a groove in the 2 sticks. Can be easily stuck together, using branches as springs. Fix the first stick in the water. The second stick is tied. Bait and fasten to the spring. Once a fish is hooked, the 2 sticks will be pulled apart. Tree branches in Redstone Bay will also bounce with fishing lines. Arrange complex traps. So run back to the camp to warm up and rest for the night. Get up early to the river. Surprised to find that the trap caught a small fish. But this finger-sized head, there's not enough to plug between your teeth. He decided to take the initiative to catch fish with his bare hands. Now the weather is cold and the fish are slow. With a slight inheritance of the body, successfully caught a small fish. Unconsciously sent it to Dad to keep the fish fresh. And we built a pool. Big fish or keep it in it and continue to catch fish. Have a successful experience. The efficiency of catching fish with bare hands is getting higher and higher. He even let him miss one. A caddy of big fish. Happy child from ear to ear. I thought about putting the big fish in the pool first. Grab 2 more small ones and stop. I never thought this fish was so clever. As soon as I entered, I immediately slipped through the seam. Seeing this scene, Tokuko almost collapsed on the spot. The pirate duck just flew away, indignant and ready to make a second shot at the big fish. The big fish doesn't take it seriously at all, hiding like a monkey. Desi was angry. Just pull up all the grass on the shore. Finally, turn the corner of the stream upside down. No sign of the big fish. In desperation, he had to give up catching big fish. Return to camp with for small fish. Simply bake over a charcoal fire. The period of waiting. Picking some wild fruits and vinegar pop. After the fish is cooked, put them together and start enjoying. Bottle fish is fragrant and tender. The delicious food can't stop at all. Served with vitamin C-rich wild fruits and vinaigrette. Finally let Desi eat the luxury he dreamed of. Chinese restaurant.